All right, welcome back. This is going to be an exploration into how the order of arguments changes things. So let's just think about a common use case, I guess, for these types of functions. Let's say it's coming in from an API, and that really this entire function, the most important thing is the return value. Like that's the whole reason we run functions is for return values. And since the return value is basically a transformation of books, I would say that books is the most critical piece of data in this entire function. So and right now it's the first argument. Throughout this refactor, we're going to get into this idea of functions first and data last. And this basically extends into the order of arguments. And when we look at year, it is also data in a way, but it is only used to support the transformation, not the data itself. So in this case, year is kind of more supporting data than it is like a critical piece of data. So we're going to go ahead and move this to be before books. And now we're going to have to apply books last. So we're going to build this function up to take the year first, because the year, all it does is it's just used as the predicate or used in the predicate function for filter. And books is really, we're going to say just in this case that that's the most important point of this function is the actual array of books, and we're just filtering it. So we'll have a failing test now, because we're applying things out of order, so it's going to break things. So books.filter is not a function because now we're asking for the year first and then the books. And so it's thinking that this is books and it's trying to call filter on a number, which doesn't work. So let's start thinking of this differently altogether. Now that we're thinking, okay, the most important data is going to come last. And what I'm really doing is filtering a collection of things that hasn't come in yet based on a year property. So I'm going to call this where year. Now we're passing in year first. So we'll say where year. Let's call this, we've kind of demonstrated that partial application is helpful, and we'll get to other examples of that. So let's just call this in96, and we will pass in 1996 here. And we'll say that actual is in 96 when we pass books to it. Now we still have a curried function and we're partially applying it, but now we are just passing books in last, and we're going to get that function. Now we're just going to plan on one test. So we would expect actual to equal expected. And again, we're changing our interface here to, instead of explicitly referring to books, we're just going to build up a function that takes a year and then a collection, which really could be any collection that has a list of years, or a collection of objects where each object has a year property. Just to demonstrate that, let's do a little console log here. We'll take in 96. We'll just pass a array literal here where we have an object that has year 1996, ID me, something like that. Finish off that object. We'll add another one that has a year of 1, an ID of old person. And so here we're kind of vaguely modeling people, and all we can see is we're passing in an array. Each element has a year property. So this fits the expectations of that function. I did get ahead of myself because this test is gonna, will it pass or will it fail? Where year, right. We changed the name. So because now we're expressing something different in terms of the intent of this function and how it works. We'll say where year. That test passes. And so now just want to demonstrate that in the output, we're going to see just one object, the 1996 with the ID me. can see that right here. So it's filtering correctly, and now the specific data kind of becomes irrelevant, and we can focus more on the flow of the logic, the transformation at hand, instead of like the specifics of books. And because really it's kind of distracting to think that this function only focuses on books, because really books is a helper for us, but all it is taking an array and filtering it based on a certain shape, where in this case it's an array that has a shape that each element is an object with a year property. So that is enough for now. We've considered argument orders, and we're going to save the next topic for the next episode, and that'll be creating filter functions that allow us to truly supply data last and start to really abstract away concrete references to data. So just to review, we reverse the argument order, we changed the name of the function, and now we said we're just going to pass that last. And let's actually remove that console. Oh, it didn't save. Cool. Here. Go. We'll check out a branch. This will be episode 4. This is order of, we'll say, functions first, data last. And here we rearrange the argument order, books last. Push that up. 4. All right. Thanks for hanging in, and we'll see you next time.